There was once a world that was full of demons, and there were people out there called demon slayers that would protect this world. But even with those demon slayers, tragedy always struck. Nezuko, you don't have to go. I do, Mom. I really do. Tanjiro's hurt, and I want all of us to have a good New Year. Nezuko is then approached by her other siblings, and they beg her to come with her, but their mother says that they especially cannot because Nezuko is going on her own. Yeah, sorry, Nezuko. Not very, big brother of me, huh? It's really okay, Tanjiro. I know I'm not that much younger than you, and I don't mind helping out the family. Nezuko takes the coal her family has been building up and heads down the trail. She arrives at a nearby town, and everyone asks where is Tanjiro, and she tells them that he sprained his ankle recently and she's filling in for him. They all say how proud of her, how proud they are of her, and that she's stepping up for their family, and that they hope Tanjiro will be in good health very soon. She sells all her coal and actually fills the whole role of Tanjiro, and even helps the townspeople with whatever they need. She begins to head up the mountain, but a woman approaches her. Hey Nezuko, it's not safe to go up the mountain at night. I don't want you to be fearful, but they say demons lurk at night, so I really would like you to stay with my family for the night. Nezuko reluctantly agrees, but obviously she argues a bit, but I mean she's persuaded into staying. They feed her dinner, and then she heads to sleep for the night. When she wakes up the next morning, thanks to the family, she basically heads off to the mountain. I gotta be quick. I don't want to keep them waiting. Nezuko runs up the mountain, and her head begins to hurt, and she begins to see in weird colors through her eyes. She's seeing in some sort of black and white coloring, as if her eyes were showing her what happened the night before and what is occurring far in the distance. She is shocked at what she sees and hopes for it to just be a bad dream. She looks behind her toward the town and can see herself selling coal, as if her eyes were showing her everything that has happened. A quick little disclaimer about this. This is more or less kind of like how Tanjiro has really good sense of smell. I decided, it's kind of like I'm reworking Demon Slayer, so I'm giving Nezuko her own little her own thing. Hopefully you guys like it. It's gonna be a little bit broken, and it's gonna be a lot different from normal. But I feel like this is a cool little add-on. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. All right, enough of that. We'll continue. She runs up to see her whole family dead. Her mother laying on the ground lifeless alongside with her siblings. But when she ran to Tanjiro, she can feel some pulse. She picks him up and begins to run. Please, Tanjiro, survive for me. For me, Tanjiro. Nezuko's head begins to hurt once again, and she sees herself and Tanjiro ahead of her. And she falls off the cliff with him into a snow nearby area. She catches up to the point that she was looking forward to, in which it happens to her. Not knowing how to really stop it, she gets attacked by Tanjiro and pushed off the mountain. Tanjiro, what are you doing? She grabs a nearby piece of wood and puts it in his mouth, keeping him away. All of a sudden, a man takes basically a swipe with his sword at Tanjiro's head, but basically out of reaction, she just dodges it. What are you doing, girl? That boy is a demon. No, he's my brother. Please don't. The man cuts her off, saying he is no longer her brother, and whenever he gets the chance, he will kill her. Nezuko tries to plead, but the man, other known as Tomioka, refuses and takes Tanjiro. You don't understand, kid. Crying and pleading doesn't work in the world. You need strength. You need to fight. Now, if you want to save your brother, save him. Nezuko comes running forward, and she can see the movement he will make. She can see what is about to happen with his own movement. She charges in, and Tomioka just shakes his head. He swings at her, but she ducks under it? Tomioka looks in shock, and he takes a punch to the stomach, and he hits her on the head with his hilt. Tanjiro takes the chance and kicks him away, and stands in front of his sister. Tomioka looks in shock, realizing that these two are different. He knocks out Tanjiro and begins to talk to Nezuko. This is what I'll do for you. You will take your brother to a man by the name of Urokodaki, and then from there you will travel back to this very area. I will give you 12 hours to do so. Urokodaki will take care of your brother, and I give you my word on that. But I want you to basically be trained by someone else other than my master, because I truly feel like it will benefit you more. Nezuko looks at him in confusion, asking what is he talking about? Train? Leaving his brother? Listen, what's your name, kid? It's Nezuko. Okay, Nezuko. This world is unsafe, and you need training to protect your brother, and also training to find the person who can change your brother back. Or, at least, I hope. But from here on out, the choice is in your hands. Tomioka is then just gone with the wind, as if he was never there in the first place. Nezuko realizes the situation and takes Tanjiro, getting him in a little basket to hide him from the sun, and basically gets it from the family that Tanjiro normally got in canon. They also give her basically this small knife as well, telling her to make sure to stay safe. She walks up the mountain, and as the sun begins to set, she hears a disturbing sound coming from a small house and sees a demon eating someone. Get out of here, this is my food. Wait a minute. You're a human too. The demon charges in, and Nezuko can't react in time. Tanjiro then busts out of his basket, kicking the demon in the face. Tanjiro, what was that? Tanjiro turns and walks to Nezuko, patting her on the head. Tanjiro begins fighting the demon, and Nezuko joins as well to help until a man with a mask appears, killing the demon, burning it. You spoke to the one you're the one that Tomioka spoke of. Now come with me. He tells him that he is Urokodaki and that he will take care of her brother until she is done with the final selection, but to not worry, that he is in good hands. She thinks to what Tomioka said and nods. Okay, Nezuko. Go before Tomioka leaves you. She says her final goodbyes to Tanjiro and tells him that she will be back when she's strong enough and she will protect him. She leaves to the destination that Tomioka said and meets with him there with two other people. He tells her that they will be carrying her to the place they will be going. They blindfold Nezuko and leave. They arrive and all the Hashira, including the master, wait for them. Tomioka explains that for her to save her brother, she first needs to confess the fact of her brother being a demon, and also that she, himself, and Urokodaki will take responsibility for any actions Tanjiro makes in terms of eating humans. She looks in shock at him. She stands and begins telling her story up to this point, that she got home and her whole family was dead, and that she wants to be strong so that it will never happen again. She also says that she has no doubt that if Tanjiro ever steps out of line during however long she is away, Urokodaki will kill him, and that she will put her own life up for her brother, and that if he ever eats a human, she will basically off herself. The normally quiet Tomioka steps forward and says that he will take his own life as well if Tanjiro does such a thing. Most of the Hashira protest, except for one with pink hair who steps forward. She exclaims that what she is doing is so noble, and that all she wants to do is protect her family. She looks toward the other Hashira and tells them that wouldn't they want that chance back again? She apologizes to the master for speaking out of line, but then says she will also offer her life for her student. She smiles and looks at Nezuko, and Nezuko begins to cry. The master decides to agree with the terms and allow for Nezuko and Tanjiro to join the Demon Slayers as long as she passes the final selection, saying to the Love Hashira that it is her job to make sure she is ready. She agrees, grabbing Nezuko's hand, running off. Okay, first Nezuko, my name is Mitsuri, but feel free to call me Sensei during training. Okay, Sensei, so how will I be training? The Love Hashira throws her a sword, and jumps at her with a wooden one. They began training for weeks, and weeks turned into months, and eventually months turned into 2.5 years. Nezuko, not now knowing the first 3 forms of love breathing proficiently, and also how to use concentration breathing constant. During this time of training, Nezuko told the Love Hashira about her experiences with her eyes and what she has been able to see. But when she uses it, it gives her a splitting headache and it seems to have some restrictions. The Love Hashira became interested in this form of increased sense, but nothing could really be found about it. They trained Nezuko during this time to try to basically use or increase her senses beyond anything she has currently done. And also Mitsuri explained to her that the cause of her headaches may be because she's using it in a broad range. That during a fight with one person or multiple people, she should focus her eyes on them and not the movement around her. If she does this, it should reduce the pain and also make her a better fighter. Even after the 2.5 years though, she still can't hold her focus on one person or multiple people without seeing the outside world. Her eyes have basically a tendency of seeing where the leaves would fall or where animals would run 5 to 10 seconds in advance, hurting her focus on the person at hand. During this training, she also learned that controlling the time she sees in advance will become extremely crucial, basically to master this advanced sense she holds. Okay, Nezuko, I think it's time for you to head to the final selection. I have taught you as much as I could to get you ready. Nezuko thanks her and basically tells her that she won't let her down. Mitsuri tells her that she knows and to make sure to bring her brother here before she does anything. Also that the missions near Urokodaki will be handled by another demon slayer and that she has a more important mission to be fulfilled. Nezuko agrees and heads off to the final selection. She arrives with another Hashira student by the name of Kanao, but when she tries to talk to her, she just looks, smiles, and doesn't say a word. They enter the area full of these beautiful pink trees, and the 2 proctors begin to explain. They explain that they all must survive 7 days with hungry demons, and at the end of it all, they will be deemed demon slayers. Everyone enters, and they all scatter. Nezuko walks through the forest and is about to get jumped on by a demon. Until second form, love pangs. In an instant, she basically slashes around Nezuko and it blows the demon back, killing it. I will do this for Tanjiro. I will make him human again. Nezuko, using the training from the Love Hashira, defeated every demon she came across. Eventually, though, hearing loud footsteps, followed by another demon slayer screaming for his life. She runs to the screaming. Who the hell are you? Just another random twerp who wants to die, huh? Nezuko begins to focus her eyes around the monster and she charges at him, seeing every punch he is throwing, basically dodging the punches. Even if you get past my defenses, kid, you won't be able to cut my neck. As he says this, Nezuko remembers what Mitsuri told her. Remember, Nezuko, your strength will never be seen as weakness, and your kindness should always be known as strength. But remember, a demon won't care if you get home to your brother, and a demon only cares for their own survival. Nezuko grips her sword so hard that her hands begin to bleed onto her sword's blade. She swings, and on impact, it made an explosion, slicing the demon's head clean off. How did I do that? She helps the demon slayer and basically gets her wounds patched up, the ones on her hands. The 7 days end, and Nezuko meets all the demon slayers that passed the final selection. She realizes that Kanao passed, but only 3 others also passed. The 2 proctors come out, and a demon slayer by the name of Genya grabs one of their heads. Give me my ore already. Nezuko tells him to let them be, and walking over and grabs his arm. There's no reason to be like that. Stop what you're doing. Shut up, you stupid girl. He swings at Nezuko, but she easily sidesteps it, pushing him on the ground. He scoffs and just backs up. The proctors come out with the oars, and Nezuko, using her eyes, sees herself picking the oar 3 to the right. She walks up and grabs it, and she begins to run away down the mountain. I can't wait to see my brother. She finally makes it down the mountain to see Tanjiro outside with Urokodaki with a bamboo in his mouth. Nezuko runs and hugs him, and she cries with Tanjiro and Urokodaki. Nezuko then stays the night while waiting for her weapon to come and tells Urokodaki all the things that happened. He explains all about the blood demon arts and that he is proud of her and that she is committed to becoming strong for her brother. She thanks him for taking care of Tanjiro, and he tells her that it's really no problem, and he pulls out a box for her to carry him in. They eat and then eventually head to bed. The next morning, the weaponsmith brings her Nichiren sword, and when she grabs it, it turns this hot reddish pinkish color. Whoa, it's like Sensei's. The weaponsmith asks, does she mean the love Hashira? And Nezuko tells him, yeah, but he explains that this pink is something he's never seen though. What do you mean? Well, Demon Slayer, pink is a symbol of love, but I've never seen this fiery pink. I've seen a light pink, but not a fiery one. She basically explains what probably has something to do with it, and tells him that when she bled on her sword, it made some strike explode in flames. The weaponsmith looks in shock, thinking that must be the reason, but it can't be just that. He decides to basically take his leave and wishes them good luck. Well, Urokodaki, I need to leave as well. I promised Sensei I would visit with Tanjiro before I do anything else. Urokodaki nods and tells her that if she needs anything, to visit him. Nezuko thanks him and leaves back to the Hashira mansion. She arrives with a box on her back. Hey Sensei, I'm back.
Mitsuri isn't here at the moment.
Oh, Wind Hashira, how are you doing?
Is that the demon?
Huh? Yeah, that's my brother. The Wind Hashira kicks the box off of her and grabs it.
He's a demon, a creature that only wants blood. I will show you.
He cuts himself and drips his blood into the box. Tanjiro comes out of the box, seemingly pissed off. Brother! Tanjiro looks at the wound on the Wind Hashira, and then looks away in disgust.
What? How is that possible? Fine, I'll leave you alone for now.
After a couple hours, Mitsuri comes back, and Nezuko tells her what happened and what happened during the final selection. She apologizes for what happened, but tells her that she is very proud of her success in the final selection. Well, what is the first mission you want for me? Mitsuri then tells her that she needs to head to a city close to where she once lived, and that supposedly a demon lives amongst everyone. Nezuko accepts and heads off, thinking maybe this demon will have information on Muzan. She takes Tanjiro and begins to leave. I'll be back soon, Sensei. She waves with a smile and tells Nezuko to be safe. They leave, and when they arrive at the city, Nezuko takes Tanjiro out of the box and they sit on the bench. She walks around scouting the area until she spots something. I almost missed it, but that man... Wait, that man reminds me of something. Nezuko begins to remember what she saw with her heightened sight. This man is the man that killed her family. This man is Muzan. She runs at full speed and grabs his shoulder. And he turns. Oh, what do you need, child? Nezuko looks to see Muzan has a family, a wife, and a kid. Muzan begins to walk away, and Nezuko speaks up. She screams his name, and he slightly flinches at it. She tells him that she doesn't understand all this, but she will never forgive him, ever, and that she will find him. He continues to walk away, and his veins pop out as if he was seriously angry. She heads back to Tanjiro and tells him she is sorry for leaving him here, and then a boy approaches them. "You two, you need to come with me. Lady Tamiya wants to speak with you." Nezuko looks in confusion, but decides to just trust the boy and follows. She looks a bit ahead and sees that they are going to a hidden area. They walk through a wall and enter a house. "Lady Tamiya, they are here." She greets them, explaining that she is a demon like her brother, and she seeks the same goal as Nezuko, to defeat Muzan. Nezuko asks about a cure for demons and if it's even possible, and Lady Tamiya explains that it should be, well, hypothetically speaking. While this is happening, Tanjiro is just rolling around on the carpet. "Oh, I'm so sorry about him." She tells Nezuko it's fine and that it's really nothing to worry about. Nezuko then freezes for a second. She asks them how secretive this place is, like truly. And she tells her that it's very secretive. As she says this, a ball goes flying through the wall. Nezuko then slashes the balls flying through the building, and her sword extends like a whip. "Wow, it's just like Sensei's." Nezuko pushes out of the building and approaches the demon. "Please, leave now, before I have to kill you." "Kill me?" "Don't make me laugh, kid. How could you do that?" "Love breathing, first form. Shivers of first love." Nezuko charges forward, slicing around the demon, and she crumbles into pieces. She looks around and cuts to the second demon out near a tree. "Wow, impressive, Demon Slayer, but I won't die as easily as her." Nezuko gets caught by one of his arrows and begins moving around in the air. She thinks to herself that how she's supposed to get out of this, but then looks to see that everything has a pattern, and if she moves in a certain direction with enough strength, she should be able to break free. She pushes off the wall and goes flying at the demon, extending her sword, slicing the demon in half, and he disappears. Nezuko falls to the ground, extremely tired, not using this much energy in, well, a while. I mean, honestly, since her training. That was more tiring than I thought it would be. Rui and Lady Tamiya run over to see if Nezuko is okay, and she says that she is fine, but they really need to find this cure. Tamiya explains to do so, she needs the blood from the top of the top demons, called the 12 Kizuki, and if she does that, a cure should be possible. A crow is then headed over to the area. "Nezuko and Tanjiro, the Love Hashira asked you to go and check out the forest. Demon Slayers are going in and never coming out." Nezuko nods toward the bird and gathers her stuff. "I'll be seeing you, Lady Tamiya." Nezuko, after being told by her crow, she heads up to a nearby forest that she was told had many demon slayers who were not coming out. She arrives to see many demon slayers strung up, seemingly with strings attached to them. She walks up and hears someone from behind her. "Get out of my way, you dumb girl." A kid with a boar mask charges in, slicing the strings off the demon slayers. Nezuko sees this, but spiders begin to attach the strings once again. "Wait, sir, that won't work at all." The boar mask kid turns with his head tilted in confusion. Nezuko explains that the strings won't stay broken and that they need to do this. She runs around throwing the slayers up onto trees, and the boar mask boy looks in shock and exclaims that he will do this better than some girl slayer. Nezuko shakes her head and just dashes past the rest of the demon slayers, finding a demon with no head and is seemingly a puppet for whatever demon that it's controlling it. What the heck is this thing? It doesn't even have a head. Nezuko slices one of its legs off and begins to think about how to beat it. She thinks to herself that if she can't cut the head off precisely, or basically she shouldn't be able to kill it. So she decides that maybe if she strikes around the neck-ish area, it will work. She runs forward, kicking the demon in the chest, jumping straight up. Love breathing, third form, cat love shower. She launches strikes at the demon from above, and the demon gets sliced at both sides of its neck. Nezuko looks to see the demon fading away. Well, now it's time to find where that other demon is. Using her enhanced eyesight, she is basically seeing where all the strings originate from and can see that the strings get stronger and stronger as they go. She arrives to see a female demon sitting down. Nezuko jumps at her and goes to strike her down, and the demon seemingly reaches out as if she wants to die. Nezuko slices through her neck as smoothly as possible, and the demon smiles and begins to cry, feeling the love behind the strike of this demon slayer. Nezuko continued through the forest, hearing thunderous roars from a nearby area, and also seeing the boar kid once again, learning that he goes by Inosuke, and he's, well, you could say a bit rowdy. They are sprinting through the forest together to help anyone they can find, but Nezuko is caught off guard and sent flying by a massive demon. Using her sword, she tries to slow her fall, and eventually does so, but still crashes into a tree. Yeah, still don't understand how Sensei makes that look so easy. She hops off the tree and hears someone talking. If you want to be part of my family, then you have to go do something useful. The female demon that seemed to be this demon's sister runs away, promising to get it done. Demon Slayer, come out. I know you're there. Why do you talk to your sister that way? Why do you care? And why should I tell you? You intruded in this forest and are trying to kill my family. Now pay. These strings get sent at Nezuko, but these bone-like whips appear from behind Nezuko, slashing them away. Huh? What is that? She turns to see these bone-like whips coming from the box on her back. Is this Tanjiro? A slight shake of the box up and down, signifying, well, yes, is done, and Nezuko just smiles. Even now you're protecting me, brother. Nezuko charges in and begins to focus her vision on this demon known as Rui, and sees every move he's going to make. She dodges to the side when an attack is sent at her, and then jumps into the sky, slicing downward, but he dodges just in time. What the hell? You are no Hashira. You cannot beat me. Nezuko disregards what he said and continues to attack. Rui activates his blood demon art, and his strings begin to go red and cover Nezuko. Tanjiro jumps out of the box and tries slashing through the strings as fast as possible, destroying some, but not all. They both get cut up pretty bad, but obviously Nezuko doesn't have regeneration like Tanjiro does, and she's brought to one knee. I told you, Demon Slayer, you are no Hashira. Nezuko begins to shake, and there's cuts all over her body, and she begins to bleed. Oh, little Demon Slayer, I guess you got hurt. But I respect your brother right there. And he's even a demon? I think I need him in my family. Tanjiro gets strung up in the trees, and every time he cuts through the strings, he gets restuck. Well, Demon Slayer, time to die. Blood-filled strings get sent to Nezuko and Tanjiro. And Tanjiro reaches out, and his eyes begin to swell with tears, thinking that his sister is dead. The strings hit Nezuko and wrap around her. Goodbye, Demon Slayer. Nezuko screams, but then she erupts in an explosion. Pink fire seems to be filling her wounds, and her body slowly begins to heal. What? It's the same thing that happened during the final selection. Nezuko looks at her arms to see the flames still raging, as if the blood from her body was the reason for it, even when the wounds closed. She charges at Rui, and he tries to fend her off, but Nezuko just dashes through every attack, as if they didn't even exist. Flaming love breathing, 7th form, burning heart. Nezuko's sword morphs into a whip once again, and basically lights a pink flame, and she slices from the heart of Rui up to his neck, and back down from his neck to his heart. She basically stabs something into Rui, taking out blood just as he disintegrates. Oh my god, Tanjiro! She cuts Tanjiro out of the tree and helps him down. Are you okay, Tanjiro? Tanjiro nods and slowly crawls back into the box to sleep. A crow then flies, informing Nezuko that the demons were defeated and that Mitsuri has requested her return. They then left the forest and headed back to the Hashira mansion. When she arrived, Mitsuri greeted her, and she grabs Nezuko and hugs her. I'm so proud of you. You beat one of the 12 Kizuki. My very own student. I could cry. Thanks, Sensei, but there isn't anything else. I mean, isn't there anything else you need from me? She says that she, well, actually does, and that she needs her to help train and help rehab the two people that, I mean, that are basically were injured from the forest, and that she feels that Nezuko would be the best for this role. I will do my best, Sensei. Nezuko heads over to the infirmary, and she is met by these other girls, and they begin talking about the rehabilitation training they will enforce, and also the training Nezuko needs to do with them. Well, I can teach them about concentration breathing constant, or total concentration breathing constant, as long as they don't know it already, and we can do basic training. That should be good enough. The other girls agree, and after a couple weeks, Nezuko begins their training. The other girls tell her that they are coming, and she waits for them. One with yellow hair walks in and sees Nezuko and begins to basically, well, lose his mind over her. And the other is Inosuke, who scoffs at her at being trained by her. Okay, both of you, come at me. They both look at her in shock, asking if she's serious. Yeah, of course. Come on. The two of them charge at her, and they miss every strike by a mile. She continues to dodge and then kicks them both to the ground. You are thinking way too much before you move. You need to focus at the task at hand. All the other stuff doesn't matter anymore. Also, why do you stop using concentration breathing? Why not use it all the time? They both look at her, asking what is she talking about? And she explains that using concentration breathing all the time will allow them to increase their physical output by a lot, and will also help them, well, in their overall training. They both begin to train with Nezuko, but then seemingly begin to give up. Nezuko, knowing both Inosuke and Zenitsu very well now, basically tells Inosuke that, well, she will always be stronger than him if, he can't master something so simple. And then tells Zenitsu that she'll be rooting for him as his biggest fan, and you know him, that's really all he needed. They continue their training, and eventually both Inosuke and Zenitsu are able to land a hit on Nezuko. They both start saying how much they have grown, and their confidence has increased by a mile. Okay, one more time. Come on. They both charge at her, and she moves out of the way and dodges as if all that training didn't matter. They both look at her in shock, and she explains that she has a special power that she has been training for, well, a while now, and even while that she's been training them. And that some people are blessed in this world, but some don't realize that blessing. And that she explains her story, and that she finally realized basically be fulfilled in this world is to cherish what you do have and make it safer for the people, well, who are left. Inosuke looks confused, but Zenitsu begins to cry. Well, that's enough for now. I think you all are ready to head back out, and we have a mission that I'm going on with you guys. They both nod and they begin to prepare to leave. Remember, Nezuko, be safe, okay? And send a bird if you need help. Sensei, I'll be fine. You're the one that trained me, right? Also, you got a busy job, so I'll see you soon. Nezuko, Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu then leave to the train nearby that they heard had demons in which they enter. They walk down the train and begin looking for a seat until they come across a man screaming delicious over and over again. Nezuko approaches him. I didn't know you would be here, Mr. Rengoku.
Oh, Nezuko, good to see you here. Yes, I am here. I guess we are on the same mission then.
Inosuke and Zenitsu introduce each other, and then the lights go out. Two demons show up, but Rengoku defeats them basically in an instant. Both Inosuke and Zenitsu beg him to train them, and of course he agrees, and he extends the offer to Nezuko, but she says that she would rather run it by Mitsuri just in case. Actually, Rengoku, I have a question for you. When I fought Rui in the forest, I began bleeding and my blood turned into some sort of, I guess, pink flames. And this has happened before in the final selection, but not ever since. Well, like a month ago or two. And I got healed out of nowhere from it. Do you have any idea what this could be? Rengoku tells her that he has never heard of something like that at all, telling her maybe it's from her past life or some part of love breathing. She begins thinking and thanks him for the help. No problem, kid. An attendant comes by and stamps their tickets, and they wait as the train continues. But then they begin to be tired, and they all pass out. Nezuko looks around to see herself surrounded by snow. Nezuko, you're back from selling the charcoal? We missed you. Yeah, sorry for not being able to go myself, Nezuko. She begins to think about how this doesn't feel right. That her siblings and Tanjiro, they're standing in front of her. Was all that before just a dream? She enters her home and sits down for dinner, but can't help to feel like this is just wrong. That it doesn't feel right. She walks over to a bucket of water and splashes her face. What is happening? She looks into the water to see her appearance flickering from her Demon Slayer outfit to a normal outfit she would wear. She begins to cry, realizing that this isn't real. She begins walking outside and her family chases her. I'm really sorry none of you are real, and I'm sorry I wasn't there to even help you. Her family keeps asking what is she talking about, and she looks over the edge of a massive cliff. I hope I'm not wrong about this. I love you all, and I promise I will make you proud. Nezuko smiles and jumps off the cliff. She wakes up to see little kids basically trying to tie themselves to the others, and she knocks them out quickly. Tanjiro! He jumps out of the box and looks at her. Protect them and try to wake them up, okay? He nods and begins to try and wake them up. Nezuko jumps out the window, looking toward the front of the train, seeing a demon. She approaches the demon by the name of Enmu, and Enmu speaks. Why do you want to wake up from that dream? You could have been so happy, but no. It wasn't real happiness. This is real, and I have dealt with my pain. And I don't want to leave this world with everyone I still care about. Nezuko slices the demon's head off from a distance pretty quickly, but it begins to morph into the train. You really thought it would be that easy? Of course not. Of course, because I'm this whole train. Nezuko looks in shock, and Inosuke hops on top of the train as well.
Nezuko, Rengoku is protecting the others, and so is Zetitsu. We need to go to the front of the train and take out the neck of the demon.
Okay, let's do it. But my name's Nezuko, not Dezuko. They head to the front of the train, and a conductor is waiting. Hey, are you okay? We're here to help. As Nezuko says this, he tries to stab her, but she is able to stop him and swiftly knocks him out. They open up a panel and see the neck, basically the neck, but that's surrounded by these tentacle-like things attacking them. Inosuke, just protect me and I can take out the neck.
You got it, Nezuko.
Nezuko slightly cuts her hands, and Inosuke sees this and looks in shock. She drips blood on her sword, and pink flames erupt from her sword, and she swings down with all her might. Flaming love breathing, 7th form, burning heart. She cuts right down through the neck, and the lower rank 1 demon was defeated. They both head back to Rengoku, and he tells her that basically expects nothing else from Mitori's student. Thank you, Rengoku, but of course I had some help. He nods, and they begin to evacuate the train.
Well, you lot did amazing, and I'm very proud of you.
A voice then is heard in the distance. Yeah, I agree. They did very well, but not good enough. They look back to see upper ranked 3, Akaza. Stay back, I will fight him. Rengoku charges at him, and their fight begins. They seem to be on the even playing field, but Akaza's regeneration and pure strength allows for him to maintain his pace for as long as he really wants, eventually leading to Rengoku getting hurt pretty bad. Damn it, how did you... Please, just say the word and you can be a demon like me. We can fight forever. Nezuko jumps in, cutting off one of Akaza's arms. Nezuko, no, stay out of this fight. Nezuko looks at him and shakes her head. Well, kid, don't die. Rengoku's body lights ablaze and he begins saying that whenever anything feels hopeless, you light your heart ablaze and you push forward no matter what. They both charge at Akaza, Nezuko staying a good distance away using her whip-like sword and basically slices at Akaza, giving Rengoku openings until Akaza found one of his own, sending his hand through Rengoku's chest. Rengoku! Akaza pushes him away and Nezuko begins to fight him as basically to protect Rengoku and is barely able to dodge thanks to her eyes, but she is blasted backwards. Akaza goes to finish her off but then realizes, the sun, I have to go. He runs at full speed and Nezuko cuts his arm off while he's running, missing his head. I'm still not strong enough. Wait, Rengoku! She crawls over to him. Rengoku, please, don't die, not yet. He tells her that death is just another human phase, and that it's okay. She begins to cry and clenches her fists so hard that they begin to bleed. The blood seeps into Rengoku's wounds, and he lights a pink blaze. Huh? How did I... Rengoku passes out, but all his wounds are healed, and his pulse is strong. I guess I did save someone at the end of the day. Nezuko passes out as well, and Zenitsu and Inosuke run over, picking them both up.